The two actually met up earlier this year, in February to be exact, and there were a lot of discussions on the table, including diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, and President Donald Trump's executive orders to go ahead and end that. Now, the mayor suggested that maybe changing the name of DEI would allow the city to keep some of those policies that he feels are important, but really the ultimate goal of this meeting was to shed a light on what's happening in our great city and to hopefully build a healthy relationship with each other. President Trump has been in office for 14 weekends, 10 of those he's been here at home. So this morning, I'm digging a little deeper into how much it costs to keep the president safe while he's in town. Alligator Alcatraz and State Attorney General James Uthmeyer says the 30 square miles of property that's in the Everglades, which is about the same size as Boca Raton, would be the perfect place to build what would be the state's largest immigration detention facility. Working to learn more details about that meeting between President-elect Donald Trump and the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Trudeau making that visit to West Palm Beach and Mar-a-Lago last night. The two had dinner together. And like you said, that meeting was to talk about those tariffs. Donald Trump says he's keeping to his campaign promises by imposing those tariffs starting today. And they're going to be on Canada, Mexico, and even China. We actually want to break down what those tariffs will look like. So if you take a look at your screen, you can see those tariffs right there. So it's going to be 25% on imports from Canada and Mexico, and then 10% from China. There could be more tariffs to come on items like computer chips, steel, and even pharmaceuticals. There are still people out there that are trying to rebuild their homes this morning, but President Trump explained that states would receive less federal aid to respond to natural disasters, and that he plans to distribute relief funds directly from the president's office. That President Donald Trump is sticking to his campaign promises on those deportation efforts, and 32 undocumented immigrants have been arrested from January 27th to the 28th, and that report from ICE is showing that these undocumented immigrants have been convicted of crimes like drug possession, prostitution, robbery, resisting arrest. I mean, those are just a few of the crimes that were listed. I went ahead and reached out to the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office about their preparations for today's protest, and they sent me this quote. It says, in part, Sheriff Del Toro strongly supports the constitutional rights of individuals to peacefully protest, and the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office remains committed to protecting that right. However, let there be no misunderstanding. Any criminal activity, acts of violence, or civil unrest will not be tolerated and will be dealt with swiftly and decisively. The No Kings protest, that's going to happen from Vero Beach to Port St. Lucie, Palm Beach Gardens, and several South County gatherings. They plan to caravan to West Palm Beach. Protesters from across Palm Beach County, they're expected to be in downtown West Palm Beach as well. We're here along Okeechobee on 441. If you take a look behind me, you can see that celebrations are still happening right now. And I can tell you that supporters on both sides, they are taking these results to heart.
Joy to the world, Trump is coming back. Let's make America great again.
Trump supporters are lining the streets near Mar-a-Lago celebrating.
It's like Christmas, New Year's, Easter, and 4th of July all rolled into one.
Many of them running off little to no sleep to show their support.
We came down here and we hung out all night. We had the TV out here watching the election, the music playing, and a bunch of great patriots and Trump supporters out here waving flags and showing support. And we saw the president drive by multiple times, so it was a good experience.
After 2 assassination attempts, other supporters say this is a moment they have been waiting for.
I'm so happy for him. I really am. Especially after that bullet buzzing by his head. That was pretty awesome, man, for him to stick it out.
However, supporters for Harris and Walz are feeling the blues.
It is a really tough feeling because I did vote, and I do believe in her, what she stood for. It is what it is. I just got to keep moving forward, and hopefully things will work out for the next 4 years.
Others are taking the loss to heart.
I never want to see his face. I never want to hear his voice. And because I have French passport, I'm waiting to see what happens, and I might just move back.
In this politically divided crowd, we found supporters of Republican Congressman Brian Mast.
When my congressman is here, of course I'm going to be here to back him up.
And others who showed up to ask tough questions about recent national policy decisions.
I wanted to see what he has to say. I have so many concerns about our government and what's happening by the administration.
Hundreds packed into Calvary Church in Jupiter. Some people, like Tom Moore, attending their first town hall ever.
People are concerned. They look at what the stock market is doing. They look at how the Supreme Court is being ignored by the executive branch, and they want answers. Unfortunately, we didn't get many good answers. He was just basically Representative Mass was just agreeing with President Trump's initiatives.
From chants of support for President Donald Trump to those expressing anger.
He's like an malignant tumor on this country.
Representative Mass took questions from the crowd for more than an hour, tackling issues like the economy and DOGE cuts. To immigration, support for veterans, and many concerns over Social Security.
What are you going to do to protect Social Security and Medicare?
Number one, let's say this about Social Security and Medicare. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is not on the chopping block.
At one point, tensions turned physical. One man escorted out of the church sanctuary. It seems this group left the town hall just as divided as they came.
I'm worried about the direction this country is heading.
Actually, it was very informative for myself, and it was quite charged, but it was good. And so I really appreciate President Trump taking the stand, keeping everything moving. We need to keep the House and the Senate.
Reporting in Jupiter, Christy Waite, WPTV News.